Today, when people visit our public library, they can gain access not only to books and magazines, but also computers, videos, microfiche, microfilm, DVDs, and compact discs. It is a gathering place to attend lectures and workshops, take classes, and view films. What some people may not realize is that for over 200 years, the residents of Oyster Bay did not have a public library as we know it today. Before the turn of the 20th century, there were reading rooms instead. One of the earliest was opened by the Daughters of the American Revolution in 1873, called the Oyster Bay Reading Room and Lyceum, with a focus on history and genealogy. Others included one run by Christ Church, begun in 1889 by Reverend Henry Homer Washburn, to encourage people to spend less time in saloons. He gave up on the idea when his reading room was used more for card playing than reading. Then in 1893, the People's Library and Reading Room opened on East Main Street, and it is that collection of books which would later be brought to this building. Our library, now called the Oyster Bay East Norwich Public Library, was originally constructed in 1901 through the efforts and donations of many community leaders, notably Andrew Snowder of Snowder's Drugstore. One of the early fundraising efforts was the laying of a cornerstone by Theodore Roosevelt in 1899, when the land had been donated by Mrs. Harriet Swan, but no plans for the building itself had yet been developed. Curiously, in the time between the laying of that cornerstone and the construction of the actual building, the symbolic masonry corner was lost and has still never been found. Another early contributor was Andrew Carnegie, the famous industrialist and philanthropist. He had a niece who lived near the village, and when he heard of the efforts to begin a library here, he donated $1,000 to help the cause. Carnegie continued this $1,000 annual contribution for many years afterwards, which helped greatly during the early years of the library's history. The brick building to the left as you face the front of the library represents the original structure, which was wood frame until 1949, when an extensive renovation took place. To the right is a frame house built around 1890, which for many generations was a doctor's office. It was purchased by the library and connected to the original building in 1975. This house is often referred to as the Bishop House, named for Dr. Bishop, who had a medical practice there for many years. In 1994, the brick and glass additions behind the Bishop House were added on to further expand the facilities, which now include a spacious and sunny children's room.